Why South Sudan? An Every Village podcast where we answer questions about the world's youngest nation. The question of the day is, why is monthly giving so important to a ministry? Hey everyone, this is Tiana Johnson, and I'm the host of this podcast called Why South Sudan, where we get the privilege of answering a question each episode about the world's youngest nation and the nation that we love. And so today we have a very special guest. I know I say that every time, but this one really is so special. His name is Tim Chambers. He is our development director. He's actually just come on staff a few months ago. He resides in Colorado Springs. Say hello, Tim.
Hey, Tiana. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, welcome.
It's good to be here.
I know we're trying something new. You are our guinea pig for someone being out of state. So
Excited to
glad
be
to
a part
have
of
you.
this.
I know. We're praying this works very well. So Tim, you actually have a recent nickname here in the office called Tim the Bulldog Chambers. Um, because you are such a hard worker. And when you are passionate about something, it is very evident. And we are so grateful that God has brought you to every village. And so I thought it'd be great to start out for you to introduce yourself to our listeners. So, a little bit about your background, love to hear about your family, and yeah, just your background and how God's called you now to South Sudan.
Yes, yeah, great. No, thank you for the opportunity today, Tiana, to be able to share. I yes, so I have been married to my college slash high school. We met in high school, but we didn't date until college age. But we have been together for soon to be 35 years. My bride,
Wow.
Daisha, and we have two kids. Our oldest is 23, and we'll be married in about 3 months. We're so proud of both he and his fiance, Victoria, and then our daughter is finishing her last semester at Grand Canyon University in early childhood development, and she is hoping to do some work in Africa. As I kind of messed her up by taking her as a 16-year-old to Africa with me some years ago. So just real quick, my background. Have about 20, let's see, I got about 25 years working in the life transformational area or life development area. Worked at Compassion International the last 10 years of those of 20 years, working specifically in Africa. I have a real heart for the continent. In fact, my previous team used to call me the American African. And as I clearly have a big part of my heart is African. And my parents were missionaries in Haiti when I was in college and early years of marriage. Been to Haiti as well, and I think that back at age 19, and that's I think when I really had a calling on my life. I really felt like the Lord was calling me to something bigger than myself, and so yeah, in a nutshell, that is now that God's opened this door for me to be able to work at every village, and specifically in the area of development of lives and engaging people in the United States to be a part of the South Sudan family is just an honor, and love it. As I'm starting my eighth month at every
Mm-hmm.
village.
8 months already? Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it was so fun. Even I think even I love hearing this story about like how God even connected you to every village. Like that's so I don't know if you want to share a little bit of that story too because I feel like that's like totally the Lord.
Yeah, we were just connect. I was doing consulting work for multiple organizations, still do a little bit of consulting and executive coaching on the side. That's just something has been a part of um, my joy and interest. I think I will be starting 18 years as my little side hustle. But finding out that via another friend and ministry leaders that every village was looking for a development director, I was praying with and encouraging Andrew, every village's executive director, about looking for a good person to step into the role. And after something that I was doing that closed, Andrew just boldly said, "Hey, what if you joined us?" And I said, "Well, I never thought about that." And so we prayed about it, talked about it, and really felt like God was steering me to a new lane. I've worked predominantly in operations, which is pretty relatively predictable, I would say. And stepping into more of a fundraising development role is not necessarily predictable. But I think the Lord really has put a relational element to my heart as well as an operational. And I think just being able to switch gears and maybe switch lanes a little bit, it has been a transition for me, but I've truly enjoyed it. And it's been fun to see the things that God is teaching me, and just this new journey in this season of my career has been invigorating. And that's probably the best word to say it, invigorating.
It's been so good. It's been good to see you, I mean, step out of your comfort zone. And I think, even just be stretched in believing in yourself and relying on God and believing that God's called you to this. So he's going to see you through it.
Mm,
And he's been so, so faithful. You actually recently put on like an awareness dinner that was incredible, which I love that so many people there in Colorado Springs who have never heard of Every Village got to hear about it for the first time. And just even hearing the amazing response of just how they caught the vision. They see why we do
mm,
what we do.
mhm.
So just really proud of you, Tim the Bulldog.
Yeah, I honestly, it's hard to even describe my emotions that night. I mean, standing up in front of a room full of friends, ministry leaders, people in my community that I've known,
Mm-hmm.
um, in the 20, almost 30 years that I've lived in Colorado Springs, it was just like, it was almost surreal. Like, I am in a room full of people that I love and that know me well, and we just get to hang out and have dinner, and I'm going to tell them about some things, and share with them about every village. And the impact has still, I'm still getting texts, I'm still getting calls. People are still sharing about how they were impacted that night. I mean, one gentleman came up in tears to
Mm-hmm.
me, and shared how much he was just completely um, wrecked. I guess I use that word a lot, in his heart, and how he just wanted to, like, anything I can do. How can I help? What can I do? And I had multiple responses like that. And the kicker is, I have a whole list of folks that couldn't make it that night, and we're looking at putting another event together now in February. So, kind
Ooh,
of
that's amazing.
doing a part two, or another awareness dinner in February. So we're excited about starting to figure that one out.
Oh,
So,
that's so awesome. Oh, so good. Well, I thought you would be the perfect person to answer this question. So the question of the day is, why is monthly giving so important to a ministry? I know that there's kind of different facets you can go off of this, and we could probably talk for a very long time about it, but would love for you to kind of sum up your thoughts as a development director of why monthly giving is so important.
okay, yes. And this really does jazz me, really kind of captures, connects with my energy, I think, to the link. And we've been talking about this as a board, that we as a ministry are in an exciting season, a season of growth. And a big part of my role is to look at a scale strategy and national expansion. for the ministry. And so monthly matters is really if we connect, if we can connect with people and starting to use social media, our podcast, this very
Mm-hmm.
podcast, um, I think broadening our reach, that allows people in Iowa and in North Dakota and Georgia to hear about who we are without us having to go there physically and have conversations with pastors or at a dinner or with a type of presentation. If we can just even reach out and get people in those different areas to connect with us and even be a part of, become uh, one of those monthly matters family members, that I think is critical, I think, for our ministry. And so I'll start with that
Mm-hmm.
from this national expansion. What we see now is a strong marketing strategy to start utilizing um, social media. That is going to be one of those entry points, I think, that'll allow us as a ministry to really to grow in the space of having monthly partners. And so so now I'll shift gears and I'll
Mm-hmm.
go to the fact of being a former operational person. I really, if to answer the question about monthly matters, it's really two elements, it's two directions. There's a practical perspective, and then there's going to be the relational perspective. So I'll break those out for you quickly,
Mm-hmm.
if I can. So from my perspective, a practical direction, monthly matters really helps ministries have a stable monthly income, and it's reliable. We know that with X amount of individuals giving Y amount total per month, times 12, we know that as a ministry we can budget and align our budget to and plan better, knowing that that's the amount that's coming in each month, and then in an annual on an annual basis, and also really our aligns with our core expenses because it's consistent. Multiple organizations use this as their operational base. It's not designated towards any specific area, but that's that basic monthly amount that comes in. Um, and that just grows into it. It enables us as an organization, as a ministry, to really do some long term planning. We can have just that base that really allows us to kind of put our minds on other things, because okay, now we have this consistent amount that's coming in, so now we can focus on, okay, so what are more of these strategic areas that because our basic US expenses are covered, so what do we do here in some of these short-term needs, and even some of the long-term needs, and so we can have some of those conversations because we're not so focused on the day-to-day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the practical
Mm-hmm.
perspective, if that's probably the best way to define that.
Yeah, no, I really like how you kind of sum that up because it is like it takes a pressure off of us, especially as we're, trying to do projects or trying to make sure that the organization stays operating. So
Mhm.
having the monthly support and having like the projection of it, and I think even I don't want to say security of it, really does help us even continue to do the work that we do and that it is so
Mm.
vital. So, yes, I totally agree with you.
Yeah. Oh no, totally. And myself being a monthly matters partner to every village, it also and let's just say, I mean, we live in a busy world. And to me, it's convenient, because I know I've signed up, things are moving. It's an easy setup on our website to join, and it's moving, and I don't have to think about it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of nice. I don't, just I think just from the convenience aspect too. So
Mm-hmm. Is one of your big initiatives as a development director is trying to rally monthly supporters?
yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and I just this week it was interesting, or just this last week, Xandru and I sat down in a group of 20 somethings, and it was kind of funny. They were making the comment, they've all launched their careers. They just graduated from college. They all have, there's several engineers in the group, and even a business owner is starting a business. And one of the comments was, "Hey, we have big boy jobs now. We may be early 20s." But we want to give. We want to give as part of our tithes and offerings. We want to give to something that matters, something we can be a part of. And no one talks to us. No
Mm.
one comes to us as 20-year-olds. And it means so much that you and Andrew would sit down with us and eat pumpkin pie. We did this a couple of nights ago. Eat pumpkin pie and just sit down and have a conversation with us and tell us about how you would love for us to be a part of this ministry, whether it just be, given 15, 25, $30 a month as a monthly donor. And one of the individuals said, I know my school that I just graduated from, this Christian school, they have this a large uh, group that connects. I think I can't remember what the name of the group is, but at the
Mm-hmm.
time, but they said there's this large group that meets weekly, and you need to like go to the colleges that have those kind of groups, life groups. That's what it was, and they're all about engaging and connecting to opportunities as they're all about ready to launch, their launch into the world in their careers and things. You need to talk to colleges, and it was very interesting. So to your question, can you tell I'm real excited about this? So to your question, am I really focusing my attention on the monthly donors? I say yes, yes, because I think there's so many opportunities as there's a new generation that's very intrigued and excited about being a part of something. And South Sudan is so intriguing and so unique, newest country in the world, and we have a wild frontier to work in and opportunities, and we see things happening. And so I'm wanting now, how do I engage with these types of opportunities where there may be a large group of 20 somethings that you
Mm-hmm.
get. I mean, there's that collective power again of monthly gifts. So you get 100 folks giving $30 a month. There you have 3,000 a month. Boom, consistent. And so having those types of interactions and conversations, those are some things that I'm very in trying to put some strategy together to look at ways we can grow the ministry in that space.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I know I just think of, a radio rally. Like that's just a vision that I've had of just like people just catching the vision of sending a radio for $20, like that is so, so impactful. Um,
Mhm.
and to even just see like a group of people, let's say young 20s, because it's true, like they're just getting out of college, they're starting their, careers and everything, and for they have hearts to give, for them to catch on to the vision of the ministry that we work with is huge. So I love that. I love that one that they even wanted to host, Andrew and you in their home, because he, Ryan, he's one of our supporters, and that he wanted other people to get involved. Like that is just our hope for so many supporters to be like, hey, I want to tell you about this amazing ministry, like for them to be advocates and to share why we love what we do. Um, so I love that.
Yeah, yeah, fun stuff. Really is.
Mm-hmm.
We went away that night. Just Andrew and I were just blown away, and I think we were just so encouraged. So let me tell you about the other arm. I'll go into that. So I talked about the practicality perspective, but it's also the relational perspective, and I think that because it is as I think of monthly matters, our monthly matters program, these are people that are partners. They're really coming alongside, um, and uh, I really feel like the relational perspective that being a part of. Um, Monthly giving really creates a meaningful connection, and that it goes so much farther than just I give X amount to every village. No, you got a connection. And we try very hard to be there's that element of what's the right amount of communication. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we're every organization has to work on that, and to know how to keep that equilibrium, because you don't want to spam people all the time with the latest and this, but yet you also want them to feel like they are part of something too. And hey, here's an update on, a pastor's conference that we just had in Tanj, and we just want you to see a couple pictures, and here's a couple testimonies that came from that. Um, so having that connection, I think, is also the relational piece to this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Monthly donors aren't just supporters because they partner, but they are they're partners, and I like that word partner as opposed to supporter,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that partner goes deeper in that mission for every village mission. I mean, a partner is coming alongside as opposed to a supporter is just kind of on being a part of versus on the side. Maybe that's a better way of communicating that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think in partners, there's a continuity. Um, they can become part of the success story of the things that are happening at every village, and so I think that is a whole other element, and something, and I just have to say this, something that just blew me away, Tiana, when I came along at every village, uh, I think it was like my first or second week. On that Friday, we had the opportunity to pray for two or three people. Each of us were praying for the Monthly Matters family. And
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, oh, that's so cool. We know them by name, and we're praying for them. And what's excuse me, we're small enough that you would tell a story about, okay, so and so and his wife, or this lady and her kids, and they support, and they're doing this and they're a part of that, and they've been with us for 5 years, and just that engagement of the partners, to be able to pray with them. And yeah, we're blessed. Is that one way to say it? We're blessed that we're small enough that we can still engage
I like it.
individually. Yeah, that we can engage individually and pray for each of our monthly matters folks. Now, I honestly, I'll have to say it, I'm going to pray that we get so large we can't pray individually. Maybe that's kind of crazy, but to look at it that way. But that would be. Anyway, I think that's sweet. That really stood out to me. I think my
Mm-hmm.
first week or so, that we as a ministry, that's part of our culture, is that we are a ministry that prays, and we
Mm-hmm.
are also a ministry that has a close and intimate relationship with our donors. And I think so that really goes back to that relational perspective that I think is just keeping that meaningful connection. I think that's imperative. And I hope that
Mm-hmm.
no matter how big we grow, because God is taking us to a new place and a new level, I pray we never lose that meaningful connection.
For sure. I mean, honestly, we'll continue praying for monthly donors. It just means that right now, I think we do it for about maybe 8 months. And now, I mean, I would love to be able to fill a full year of supporters that we pray for every Friday. So we can
Hmm.
just keep it going.
Yeah.
For sure. Um,
Yeah.
so, Tim, to close us out, I'd love for you to share. Let's say somebody's listening to this podcast and they're like, hey, I want to become a monthly donor. And how much should I give? What does it look like? How do I, yeah, how do I sign up? Um,
Mm.
yeah, would love to. Yeah,
Yeah.
love for you to share.
Well, our website's everyvillage.org, and you could do everyvillage.org/join, and that'll take you to our page, our giving page, and there's several options there to be able to give a one-time donation, or if you want to sign up for a monthly donation. Um, there's a lot of, as how much to give. That's where it's just important to really pray about that. And there's my wife and I, before we give, I would say there's been times that I've been maybe a little bit too aggressive, and I've jumped in and started supporting a ministry without fully communicating with her. But we really try, as a couple, to pray and connect. And something that I have, we both, I think, have over the years given. We like to give to organizations that obviously are show um, high integrity and high impact. But then I would thirdly say are highly relational, because we give to multiple organizations, my wife and I now, and the relational element. We know a couple that just started a ministry here this last year, and we're supporting them. We get to see them often. They're in our small group. I've given. Um, to a camp that our kids were a part of. And they were built, completely blessed with that experience for multiple summers that they were a part of, and just saw how they really were, the gospel was really shared and integrated into their lives and the relationships they got. So I really would encourage, when you think of giving, we are a ministry that wants to keep a close relationship with our donors, and so I
Mhm.
would consider that hey, we want to know about your life. We want to pray for you if there's needs, those kind of things.
Mhm.
So I think I think a close relational ministry, um, and then that would be something that I would hope that people would see as a means and a reason to be a part of, and become a partner with Every Village.
Mhm. Yes, I echo that. I'd love to give some examples about, let's say, because I mean, honestly, our supporters too, some are $10 a month, which is amazing. And then some give, $1,000 a month, which is
Hmm.
also amazing. So, I mean, we have such a vast variety of the amount, but like, we always say $20 sends a radio to South Sudan. But honestly, if somebody wanted to give $50 a month, that would cover our Starlink um, internet at one location. But if you want to cover all the locations, it's $200 a month. So, and Starlink has been incredible. We're able to do
Oh, oh my
clear
goodness.
conversations, calls. We can do videos over to South Sudan. It's pretty incredible.
It's
Um,
a paradigm shift for our
yeah,
engagement and our future communication. Yes,
yeah.
definitely. And I'm so glad you brought that up. So glad you brought that up. Yes.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I was talking to a friend recently, and she was like, "Oh, it's just so helpful if you break down like how much goes to what or what or whatnot."
mhm.
But yeah, so just want to encourage anybody that's listening, if you want to join in and be part of our monthly matters, and just like Tim said, I mean, you are part of the community, but or the family. I mean, we really are. I call it the monthly matters community and family, because we do want to care for you. Not just, this isn't just a transactional relationship. This truly is that we're going to pray for you and support you and care for you. But again, if anybody wants to sign up, you can give 5, 10, 20, 25, 150, anything. 1,000. You don't even do over 1,000. You actually can. We will gladly receive it. So, but again, thank you so much. Thank you, Tim. This was such a joy. This was great.
But yeah, enjoyed. I love sharing about Every Village. Any chance I get.
Yeah, so good. Well, I'm so glad you're on our team, and we'll definitely have you back on the podcast. Don't you worry.
Okay. Thank you
At
so
least,
much,
yeah, we
Tiana.
figured out a system that works. So, All right, so we invite everyone back to the next episode as we are heading into Christmas. So exciting. Merry Christmas to everyone as it is approaching. So the question we will be answering the next episode is, what do holidays look like in South Sudan? Take care.